the Saints 20-10. This was never close. I mean, Gardner Minshew, I apologize for saying he was in the same stratosphere as Jalen Hurts. There's a big drop-off. I think there's a case for Jalen Hurts as the MVP. When you see how bad that offense looked with Minshew.
I know, but it's hard to win it when your argument is, hey, I didn't play, but my team needs me. Mahomes is playing. Burrow's playing.
Well, okay, I'll just toss this out there. This was the first time they were shut out in the first half all season. They had their fewest first downs in the first half in 7 years. They had 2 first downs in the first half against the Saints, Colin. This is a Saints team that's not good. This is a bad look for the Eagles. They're limping in. I saw a defensive end go down. Josh Sweat was carted off.
Now, what's the latest on him?
He's done. I don't think they anticipate
for the year.
Likely. Wow. I mean, he's definitely not playing this week against the Giants.
Well, yeah, no, I know that.
No Lane Johnson, no Avonte Maddox. Now, the Eagles can still set the NFL sack record, by the way, next week. That's something to watch. Brandon Graham and company, they're good.
Yeah.
Have we gotten word if Brian Daboll's sitting his guys next week? Because they can't move out of the 6. I don't think they're going to hand this game to Philly. Somebody texted me that Daboll historically plays his guys in the preseason when other coaches pull back. So I don't know that Daboll's taking his foot fully off the gas.
No, I think if you're Brian Daboll, this offense needs reps.
No,
Daniel
we'll not
Jones.
Saquon Barkley. We'll rest Saquon.
No, I rest Saquon, but everybody else. Yeah, I mean, again, if somebody's banged up, you can rest, but no, I think Belichick's history is he just played dudes. If you think everybody thinks instinctively, because football's so physical, that time off is great. Last year, Green Bay, Tennessee had a bye, lost at home. Also, did you watch the defenses in the bowl games that had a month off? They were terrible.
Oh, my
the tackling in the Michigan TCU game, the tackling Ohio State, Georgia was atrocious. Why? They have too much time off. If you're good, play. Football, it's not baseball, everyday sport, but rest doesn't necessarily help. Get out there every 6-7 days and hit.
I do wonder about the Eagles. Are they still your favorite in the NFC?
No, if San Francisco, if Philly, I think San Francisco is by far and away the best roster in the league. By far and away the best roster.
We'll see if Lane Johnson comes back. I don't know that Philly wins their first game. If they have a bye and you got a lot of guys getting back, I'm not feeling great about Philly. Maybe they did peak too early. You had that stat, remember a couple weeks ago about teams that are the last one to be undefeated?
That stat's often tied to the healthiest team.
Yeah.
So the Niners were beat up early, now they're healthy. The Eagles were healthy for 8 weeks, now they're beat up. Which would you rather be? I'd rather be the healthy team now, San Francisco, because their defense didn't play well yesterday, but their offense, all the dudes. They got so many weapons.
Yeah, by the way, last year, Rams in the Super Bowl run, offensive line, one of the healthiest units in the league all season. Final story, my main man, Kenny Pickett, boy, came through for me last night. Colin, I got to say, Steelers still alive, faint playoff hopes, but a great...
Positives. Pete Carroll, let Pete cook, has a formula. Now, we talked about Green Bay having an identity. Seattle has more of a formula. Lean into the run game when Kenneth Walker is healthy. Limit the number of throws Geno Smith makes, 35 or fewer. Run heavy, lean downhill, play very aggressive Pete Carroll defense. Pete's had an amazing rebound year. GM John Snyder hit a home run, maybe the best draft in Seattle in a decade. And this is their formula. Now, they don't control their playoff hopes. They can win and still not make it. If Green Bay beats Detroit, my guess is they will. Seattle's out. But it's been a great year, and it's a very, very healthy roster. And unlike baseball or the NBA, if you have a great draft and bring in 5 or 6 starters, you can be a playoff team the next year. Seattle on the precipice of being that. But they've got a formula. It's pretty clear. They hit a home run in the second round with Kenneth Walker. Lean into him. When he's been healthy, they run the ball, limit the exposure of Geno. They don't want him throwing 38, 42, 45. Don't want that. Same with Brock Purdy. Probably better off throwing 27 than 37 or 47. It works. Number 2 is, what did we learn? It's not all bad for the Jets, even though that was a complete dud performance by the staff and by the quarterback. It was clarity. Come on, the AFC quarterbacks right now, loaded. And Lamar Jackson's not even playing. Looks like Kenny Pickett can play a little bit. Mike White's not the guy. He's just not the guy. He's a great backup. And the Jets roster, to me, above average. They have the number 1 corner in the league, a top 5 to 7 defensive front. Breece Hall will get healthy, a star running back. I think their offensive line will get healthier. A couple of guys on that I like. They're a veteran quarterback and a left tackle away, in my opinion, from being a playoff team. Is Robert Saleh the right coach? Well, he's done a great job with the defense. That's his side of the ball. The GM missed at quarterback and missed at left tackle, but it's not an exact science. He's also had a lot of hits. Derek Carr's on the market. I'd go after him yesterday. Garoppolo's on the market. I'd consider it, probably not. Tom Brady, probably on the market. By the way, I'll throw this out there. I know it sounds crazy. I'd give Kirk Cousins a call. I think Minnesota is worn out. 2 biggest games of the year, he was awful. He was awful. This team has a lot of good players. This isn't the Giants where they're pretending Daniel Jones is great and they have a rebuild roster. This is a really good roster. This is a really good roster. Left tackle, quarterback. But yesterday is a great example. To get clarity, sometimes it's painful. Come on, Jets. Burrow, Herbert. What if Carr stays? Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar comes back. Mike White? Really? How good do you have to be on defense, special teams, and coaching to overcome that? Yesterday is a great example. Biggest game of the year. Engulfed. Over his skis. Not ready. It's okay. We got 5 great quarterbacks in the NFL that are young and in their prime, and probably 4 to 5 other ones that are really, really good, not in their prime. Mike White's not the guy. J-Mac with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line
You
News.
winced when I said
Let me
Kirk
just say
Cousins.
Happy New Year before I come after you for a hammering my Jets. Listen, let's not give Seattle too much credit for this win, okay? Let's be real about their game plan, Colin. You watch that game. They did not attack the Jets' cornerbacks. Seattle wide receivers,
would you?
5 catches for 33 yards.
Would you?
No, they had a great game plan. We're going to throw to tight ends and running backs out of the backfield.
Yeah.
Jets linebackers and safeties couldn't cover anybody. But that's Salah's department, the defense. No celebrating for J-Mac on Sunday.
It was. I will say this. The Vikings game, whatever. The Jets game was...
They laid an egg.
Oh, it was an...
60-yard run on the first play from scrimmage.
Yeah, it was
Seattle up 17-3 before I could sit down with my pizza. A little frustrating, but it's out of my system. It's over. Season's done. We're onward to the quarterback. By the way, Kirk Cousins, come on, stop it.
All right.
He's not leaving Minnesota, okay?
All
All right, let's start with Tampa Bay, Colin. Bucks clinched a spot in the playoffs with a come-from-behind 30-24 win over the Panthers. By the way, Tampa trailed this game 14-0 at home, 21-10 at home.
Why did they not double Mike Evans more?
Oh, well,
did
we'll
you
get to that
notice
shortly. Brady had a season-high 432 yards, connected with Evans on 3 TDs, 2 of them super long. Colin, I just put this out there. On Friday, I told you and the audience that the top 2 cornerbacks for Carolina were out. Remember, J.C. Horn and Jackson both did not play.
Right.
You know who they put on Mike Evans? C.J. Henderson, former number 1 pick. He's bounced around to like 5 teams. He got destroyed by Mike Evans on straight go patterns.
And there was no help behind him.
No help.
I couldn't figure out what Carolina was doing. It's the same play over and over.
Everybody wants Steve Wilkes to keep the job. I was just talking to some people coming in. He's not keeping the job in Carolina. He's not the guy.
Not with that owner.
No. Now, D'Amico Ryans at San Francisco. We'll see if that's the guy for the job. But Steve Wilkes, a total letdown. And Sam Darnold was pretty good. Solid game. But again, the turnovers. 2 fumbles and a pick.
Sam's going to give you the ball back. I was so close to doing a right wrong or right on Sam Darnold, but in the end, he turned the ball over.
You had that wrritten at like, what, 3:30 yesterday? East Coast time. You're like,
1:45.
That was right. You were all cooking up that. Listen, I just put this out there, though. Mike Evans went 11 games without a touchdown. Then he beats like a guy off the street.
No.
They had Josh Norman starting in the secondary.
Let me ask you.
This is not a great win for Tampa.
What is Tampa?
They're not a good team. I'm telling you right now, I'm betting Dallas.
So am I.
I know everybody's going to say, well, Tampa, they went.
No.
They're not good. Todd Bowles, Byron Leftwich. I'm not in on Tampa. And by the way, I think I texted you this. We'll get to it later in the show. I got a good take on that division next year.
Okay.
Tampa's going down. Have you looked at how many free agents they have, Colin?
Oh, yeah.
It's like 7 starters on defense probably not coming back.
And Brady has always been very calculated. He knows that. He's out of there.
Byron Leftwich, what quarterback's going to want to come and play?
Brady is out of Tampa. And he's not retiring. You could listen to that Jim Gray podcast. He's playing next year.
Now, by the way, did you see what a quarterback who knows McDaniel's system looked like against the best defense in the league? I'm not saying Stidham's the guy, but when you know McDaniel's offense, You can cook with some gas there. Devontae Adams looked good. Speaking of not cooking, Colin, Philadelphia Eagles.
Well,
This